If you are just joining us, we are live in Las Vegas from reInvent 2023, and we're in the expo hall that opens in just under 2 hours here. And if you've ever been at an expo hall before it opens and show prep, there are boxes, there are forklifts, there is every possible thing that you name it. There's a little Zamboni machine to get the carpet all down. Everything that we need to make sure that we have a great week here in the expo hall where we can network, get to know partners, get to know AWS, and so many other things. So this is AWS on Air, and we are going through right now a couple of segments on our cost optimization pillar. And so we are going to bring some guests up on the screen. We have Rick and Letitia. Did I say that correctly?
Yeah, you said Litian.
Litian and Rick are joining Jeff and I here to go through some more cost optimization topics.
Awesome. Thanks for having us, Jasmine. Yeah, we're really excited to talk about some of the stuff we just launched yesterday. We have two awesome features for you today. We have Cost Optimization Hub. Liam just showed a little slice of it in the last session, so we're going to talk more about that. We're also going to talk about Compute Optimizer. We made a really cool improvement to Compute Optimizer where customers can now tune and adjust the recommendations and how they're built. So we'll talk about that one first, and then we can dive into the new hub experience in the second half of this session.
Yeah, Rick, I'm really interested in the optimizer because in a former life, I was a big VMware administrator. And so all VMware administrators know that you look through and see your VMs and try to right-size things. And that's a big, important message that we deliver as AWS solutions architects as well. So any feature that makes that easier, because that can be scary to customers. And a lot of times, and I think we're going to talk a little bit about how to help convince a customer that it's worth saving the money, but some customers would rather not save that money and err on the side of caution. So I'm excited to see tools that help make that decision for our customers.
Absolutely. So right sizing is hard, and we love to help people save money because we want everybody's spend on AWS to be focused on business value, right? And sizing instances is not an easy thing because there's 600 plus instances to choose from. And you might, when you start a project, pick an instance size and maybe never revisit that. And so going back and taking a look at, did I pick the right instance size? Is it still the right instance size? That's a hard problem to solve, especially when you have hundreds or thousands of instances as well. So we've been hearing from customers for a long time that right sizing is difficult and they want more help and they'd like more tools to be able to sort of control how the right sizing engine works, whether that's using different lookback periods or that's maybe focusing the recommendations to prefer certain instance families over other instance families if they have maybe instance savings plans or reservations or things like that. So as part of this launch that we announced yesterday, there's 4 ways to adjust and tune the recommendations that you have. So like I said, you can adjust the lookback period. We offer a brand new free feature that allows you to select 32 days of lookback. And this is exciting. We've heard from a lot of customers, they want monthly amounts of data in the right sizing recommendations. So now we offer 32 days of data inside the right size recommendations that you can go enable, turn on, and you'll see recommendations refresh with 32 days of data. So that's exciting. That helps engineers trust that the recommendations have their monthly behavior baked into the analytics and the recommendation engine. You can also, like I mentioned previous, you can pick which instance families and types you would prefer the recommendations to choose. And what that means is if you have maybe a t-shirt size or a program to use very specific families or types, you can configure Compute Optimizer to use those solely in its recommendations. This helps you sort of migrate to certain families that you like or consolidate or kind of manage your fleet a little bit more proactively with right sizing as well. So we're going to show a screen here real quick. We're going to show the custom. We're going to see if we can show it. We're going to show the customization configuration options for you. So inside Compute Optimizer on the left side, you're going to see the new right sizing preferences page. So if you navigate here, you have a new set of tools at your disposal to make these adjustments to the right sizing engine. So if you click on the edit button on the right side of the screen, you'll be able to go in and make adjustments to those recommendations. You can pick them for all regions or certain regions. For this demo purpose, we'll stick to all regions. And once you select your region scope, you can select account or organization or specific instances as well. And then you can limit which instance families and types you would like the recommendations to stay within. And so you can select or deselect certain instance types and families. And if you can even select certain sizes within a family as well. If you click one of these families and click on the instance size of the pencil, you can see you have the ability to protect and control the recommendations to only operate within certain sizes. Now, for the purpose of
important, why would someone want to choose only to look at specific instance types?
Yeah, that's a great question. Sometimes you have certain third-party pieces of software that requires certain pre-approved instance families. Some SAP HANA is an example. There's certain instance families that SAP HANA certifies. Another example is if you have instance savings plans and you have instance savings plans on a very specific instance family, and so you want to try to get all of your instance over to that very specific instance family. So those are a few of the options, but we hear from a lot of customers, there's a lot of other reasons why certain families are preferable. Maybe they prefer AMD processors, maybe they prefer Intel processors, maybe Graviton, right? There's ways to tune the recommendations to fit into these different instance families. Yeah, great question. Okay, go ahead and advance for me, Letty, and we're going to take a look at the meat of this feature is now you can tune the sensitivity of the recommendations as well. So in addition to the 32-day lookback, which is the new free feature, you can now change how much extra buffer and sensitivity Compute Optimizer has. Now that's important because Compute Optimizer's recommendations by default are very, very safe and conservative. They're designed to work for everybody out of the box. They're very trustworthy and very safe because you should be able to apply a default recommendation to any workload and it's going to be very performance safe. Now that unfortunately leaves a little bit of savings on the table still. So for application environments or customers that are looking for more aggressive savings opportunities, you can adjust either the threshold, which is how sensitive Compute Optimizer is to peaks, or you can adjust headroom, which is how much extra capacity is loaded into the recommendation when it's doing the analysis. So either one of those are pretty good tuning options to give you recommendations that are more comfortable for your company's optimization program. You might have kind of an unknown amount of future usage, so you want more headroom. Or you might have a really good idea of your future usage. You know it's not going to grow or shrink too much, so you can go with lower headroom. This will allow you to have higher savings in the recommendations, and this allows you to have more confidence in not only how the recommendation works, so your engineering teams can look at this and go, okay, I see what you're doing here. I trust the recommendations. I'm willing to take them now. Or also with threshold, you can use different percentile settings to make Compute Optimizer a little bit less sensitive to transient peaks like reboots, patching behavior, some of this sort of stuff that your company is maybe okay with and wants to allow for inside the rightsizing engine. So these different options allow you to sort of curate and tune the recommendations to be right in line with your optimization program's goals. We did offer a few presets. I really like the balanced preset up at the top. So these presets kind of pre-configure the threshold and headroom for you. Balance is a great option. If you would like to just see a little bit more savings out of your right size recommendations, still a great sensitivity level, that's an option that's really well. We also have maximum performance for workloads that are very sensitive and are production and mission critical. And we also have maximum savings. This is a great option for non-production workloads that maybe don't drive revenue for your company, things like that, where you really want to maximize the amount of spend and just really hone in on just running them exactly at the right size for the workload demand.
Yeah, Rick, I think it's interesting that in this page, this kind of dynamic graph here is helping the customer realize your settings that you're choosing. So to visualize what threshold versus headroom is, I think is really helpful.
The graph is not real data. It's completely an example graph just to help people understand the relationship between threshold and headroom. And when you visualize utilization and headroom and percentile, it just makes more sense. Because when you try to like just write down what a percentile is or what headroom is, it can be a little bit difficult. And so this visualization graph is just, we want to really help educate people and build trust that this recommendation engine is designed to help you. So that's important to us. So that is the Compute Optimizer new feature of right-sizing customization. I'd like to take a minute and talk about the Cost Optimization Hub now. So this is a very exciting capability where we've heard from our customers that they want to see all of the optimization potential across all of our products. Now, we have a lot of optimization products, right? We have RI recommendations, reservation recommendations. We have savings plan recommendations. We have right sizing. We have idle recommendations. And they're all in different products in the console. And this is like kind of what we've heard is it's difficult. It's difficult to navigate to these different consoles and add up the savings. So we decided to do this for you. We have built a new cost optimization hub where we gather all of these recommendations from across the console. We put them into a single page, and then we deduplicate all the savings so the numbers are accurate and trustworthy for your leaders when they review optimization potential. This is really important because you don't count the savings from turning something off and then count the savings from right sizing that same thing, right? It doesn't match up. So we deduplicated the savings amount so the number is more realistic and accurate for the potential your company has from all the different recommendation products. Now, we took all of these recommendations, we made a unified new schema for recommendations and a new API so you can get all of your recommendations in a single data feed. Then we built a new front end for it in the console called the Cost Optimization Hub. So now you can see all of your recommendations. You can see them by recommendation type or region or resource type or almost any way you can imagine you would like to slice and dice your recommendations based on the optimization goals you and your organization have. So if your organization is really going for idle and you want to get after all of the idle resources, you can just look at those. If you are ready for right sizing and you want to take a look at the right sizing potential across your estate, or ideally, you can do multiple optimization methods together at the same time. We'll talk more about that in COP 204 session tomorrow at 11 a.m. at Mandalay Bay. I hope to see everybody there. This is important because we want optimization programs in our customers' environments to use savings plans and right sizing and idle all together in concert.
Yeah, Rick, the one option I saw that was really cool was migrate to Gravitron. That was can you explain what that was really quick?
Absolutely. So this pulls from Compute Optimizer. Compute Optimizer has right sizing recommendations that simulates the migration to Graviton, including the higher performance and lower cost of that migration to Graviton. So if Graviton is something your company is really interested in doing, we have all of the savings numbers for you that tells you what's the financial benefit of moving to Graviton. This helps make the analysis of if this is the right thing for you to do way easier, because we can just show you the number up front. Hey, here's the value. Now, you still will need to evaluate like which applications are compatible and everything like that. But now you have a concrete business value number of the benefits of moving to Graviton, making that comparison effort not a spreadsheet and Excel problem, but an actual analytical science problem that we've solved for you.
Yeah, I think that's really interesting because I think that's like a third avenue of cost exploration that maybe doesn't come to mind very often. You have right sizing, you have purchase plans, RIs versus spot, but then there's going to Graviton, going from GP2 to GP3, those kind of new version options that inherently will save the customer money and probably belongs on this. So that's why I noticed this and I wanted you to bring it up. So that's great.
It's a good eye, Jeff. That's a great point. Graviton is such a fantastic option for customers to combine not just like modernization of new families and processor models and types like Graviton, but also right sizing at the same time. So you're kind of getting two birds with one stone here because we're right sizing and modernizing together. And Compute Optimizer provides that, and then Cost Optimization Hub will show you the totals. One thing we have heard for a lot of years with Compute Optimizer is customers want to see all of the recommendations globally all in one place. So they know the total potential savings when they're looking at all the optimization efforts together. And what we hope is this helps people understand the total potential value of being more elastic with their cloud resources. This is the value of AWS, the ability to scale up and scale down. We would like to help customers be elastic and control their resources in a way where you scale up and scale down, you reserve, you discount, you migrate. All of these are awesome behaviors that customers can go through to get more value out of their spend.
Yeah, thanks, Rick. I was just jumping off of mute. So we're getting near the end of this segment. Do you have any thoughts on if customers are seeing this and have some good ideas, what's a good place to start? What do you suggest to see all these new features, cost optimization hub, et cetera, et cetera?
Sure. Ledian, you want to talk about the enablement feature?
Yeah, so Customization Hub is available in AWS Billing Cost Management Console. So the first time, if you go to this console and you click on Customization Hub, if you already enrolled, you will see this dashboard view. If you haven't enrolled, you will see actually an enrollment page where you can just click there's enable button at the bottom. And once you enable, the data will be populated within 24 hours. And you can see the distribution of your savings opportunities by region, by resource types, even by your cost allocation tags, just as Rick just talked about, in just 24 hours when the data is all imported.
And the last thing I'd leave with you, Jeff, and everybody watching, all of these new products are completely free. We want to help our customers spend efficiently on AWS and their spend be reallocated to investment on new concepts and new application builds and new resource types. And everybody needs more money for the Gen AI movement and GPUs, right? So we love making sure customers' spend is aligned to their strategic investment of technology. And we build these features because we love helping customers use AWS, and it's a joy for us and our organization to do so.
Well, that sounds great, Rick and Letian. Thank you so much. Jasmine, you got anything else, or are we ready to end the segment?
No, that was awesome. I'm excited to see all of these features, that they're free and available to customers. It's very easy, hopefully, for them to navigate into the billing console and be able to go in there and adopt these right away and hopefully start saving, like you said, Rick, for maybe some Gen AI innovations.
Thank you so much, Jeff, Jasmine. It was a pleasure to be on the show.